And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen versus
what up,
everybody.
No.
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What are we
We're gonna be both what they want.
I'm gonna start the podcast exclusive section with this. I've got a bone to pick with you, Mr. Rose.
Wow.
We've got a problem. I'm gonna take you behind the curtain. We're here in the South Street Seaport studio where we work together.
Oh, wow.
While Jalen Rose is on a 3-hour show every morning. Get up. I prepare this show for those 3 hours.
Okay.
And when you get done, you were kind enough, so nice of you yesterday. You brought a bag of popcorn for me with the logo of the show on it. One time you had Garrett's make special cans of popcorn for the show, and I kept the can as a souvenir. We've got a show. Who knows how long this is going to last? You got to hold on to everything with your name and face on it you can. And then today, I noticed that my popcorn bag was no longer on my desk. My desk is right next to Jalen's, also right next to our friend Kayla Johnson's.
Shout out.
My bag of popcorn was gone. Kayla Johnson comes around the corner after Get Up, and she's eating a bag of popcorn with my face on it.
What?
And I said, where'd you get that popcorn? Did you steal the popcorn on my desk? And she's like, no, Jalen gave it to me. Unless there's something I didn't understand about this.
Oh, man.
But it seems to me like you gave me a commemorative bag of popcorn that I was thankful for and appreciated and put on my desk as a souvenir, as a keepsake to keep for the rest of my life and hand down from generation to Jacoby generation. And then you just straight up took that off my desk and gave it to Kayla. Am I missing something, Mr. Rose?
You are missing something.
What's that?
Here's the thing, and I'm trying to make sure I get the information right. So there's a gentleman that's also from Detroit that listens to this show.
What up, though, to him?
And he also is a popcorn aficionado.
Oh, okay. Is he in the popcorn business?
And that's what he does for a living.
Oh, so he made the stickers and he put them on the bags of popcorn and he gifted these popcorn bags to you that you gifted to me that you then stole from me and gifted to Kayla. Is that what happened?
So what had happened was...
What is this?
Shout to Randall's. I'm going to reply to your message, too.
Shout out.
Definitely want to get more popcorn, as you see.
We need some more popcorn,
Since
Randall's.
I figured, we better get more of this. The homie from the hood, I'm going to respond to him.
Yeah, of course. We'll give him a shout out on the pod.
Love.
Yeah.
Popcorn is like a lifelong thing. Like,
it is.
This is a bigger conversation that me and him need to have. It's almost like I need one of those Clyde Frazier type deals. As it relates to popcorn, like this is what we do, as you know. And for those that get up at, I would say, extreme hours of the day, like I do at 3:30 a.m., you know, by 1 o'clock, sometimes you got to stop yourself because you've been and ate 2 or 3 meals already. You're not careful. And so I love, as everybody knows, Eatos. So big shout out to Katie Gorman, who's the absolute best.
Shout out.
She makes sure
y'all
everything
see
is
what's
good with our
here, right?
squad.
Just so y'all see what's happening, he's not answering the question. He stole my popcorn.
I'm going to answer it. She makes sure I have Doritos and Cheetos. When I'm in Detroit, it's all about the Better Made. They got to send me some more barbecue and barbecue popcorn. But my guy Randall came through.
Shout out to Randall.
Shout out.
And so he sent us 2 bags. I gave one to Jacoby.
Yeah.
I shared the rest with the staff. I ate 50% of the bag. And then I came back today.
Why do you think he sent 2 bags, Jalen?
Because he wanted you to have one also.
He wanted me to have one. Yeah. He did.
It's
Randall,
a nice professional
Jalen, did you
letter.
Wrong. It looks great. Oh, he did? He wrote you a letter too?
Yeah.
Did the letter say, make sure you give this to Jacoby and then steal it from Jacoby and give it to somebody else?
Yeah.
So,
is that what it said? Is that what the letter said?
When I came in today and I was like, I saw it on Jacoby's desk, I was like, oh, I can get him some more, so it ain't no trip. But the thing was, I was supposed to eat it. But the show, I had to rush back to the set. And then so Kayla and the crew, I was like, here, why don't y'all have some?
I don't want to hear this.
So she leaves the set. And Jacoby sees her with the evidence, because that's what it was.
There's like 4 kernels left.
Right.
Half
so it made
popcorn.
you look to her like she initially took it.
She sits next to me too. She threw you under the bus
hilarious.
so fast.
That is
She didn't think for a second before she threw you under the bus. So that's taking you behind the curtain on the show. A couple things I want to discuss with you in the podcast exclusive. I didn't put the NBA awards in the show really because I'm frustrated by them. They were predictable this year. The show itself, I checked in on it, but shout out to the TNT and the inside the NBA staffs, especially for being funny on it. But man, it does feel broken. Yeah. After the NBA Finals to have this. It feels like, I understand, I love an award show. I came up working on the ESPYs. I love a sports award show. I love this. I love to see everybody dressed up. I love to see everybody show out. I like that. I'm not saying kill the award show. I'm saying give out the awards after the regular season and then have an award show for playoff awards. What do you think about that?
I like what you did there. And I was going to ask you for some of your production tips as it related to that idea so I can steal them for Get Up. Mm-hmm. And also, in all honesty, it's a tricky position for the league because you don't want to tip the awards. You want it to be a surprise to the public, which is why you await 20 days or however long, So you'll wait 10 weeks, not 20 days, 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
Since the end of the regular season to announce the awards because you want to protect the integrity of the television program. If everybody knew who was going to get the awards, they wouldn't watch.
I would do all the traditional awards, 6-man, Coach of the Year, Most Improved, MVP. I would announce those the way they used to, and then I would still have the award show to give away, celebrate all the charitable things that the players do. That was one of the best parts of the night, and I would still have a show, and I would give away some playoffs awards. I would make up some playoffs, best play in the playoffs, or clutch performance, or breakthrough performance where the Donovan Mitchell can get that. So I'd do something like that. I would make up some categories that were playoff specific, still have the awards gala, still give away all the lifetime achievements and the charitable stuff, so you don't lose that event, which I believe is a legitimate event and it's going to get good ratings. But you can't be giving away MVP to James Harden. You can't be giving away Rookie of the Year to Ben Simmons.
Hold on, hit the
for
brakes.
The regular season after the playoffs.
Hold on, hit the
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the MVP.
You can't be giving Dwayne Casey Coach of the Year when he's gotten fired by one team and hired by another one.
Yes. Yes.
That's what you can't be doing.
It doesn't really make sense. So that's, Adam Silver watches this show and listens to this podcast. First he watches, and then he listens after that because he likes the podcast exclusive content.
And then he watches the re-airs.
Yeah, he does that at night because he doesn't sleep much.
Yeah, he watches all of the re-airs.
He's got those burner accounts he needs to keep up with and things like that. So Donovan Mitchell showed up in a van that said rookie ? Soft move or boss move?
I would say he continues to own a boss move.
For me, it's a little tired to me. It's like, all right, dude, we get it. You're a great player. You're going to be around for a long time.
That was the last time.
Yeah, it's like, it's over now. It's over, Donovan. Yeah. It's over. I mean, I love Donovan Mitchell's game. No shots, but at this point, it's like, we get it. He knows he's going to lose, too. Like, he didn't go there thinking, maybe I'm going to win Rookie of the Year.
That's the whole point.
Like,
so, when you know you're going to lose and you still own your shtick, that should be it.
Yeah, it's over
because
now.
He's such a great player, we'll allow him to do it. Yesterday was the force, but he drew the foul. The next time, that's a charge.
Yes, it's also the kind of great player he is. He's a very likable player because he plays so hard, and he's mad at James Harden. Remember when he was walking through the thing, be like, if that's what you need to do to get MVP, then, this and that. Like, I like him. You got quotes where, I don't want to play with LeBron, I want to beat LeBron. Like, I love his attitude, and I love what he brings to the game. I love what he brings to the Jazz. But, Donovan, you're not a rookie anymore. Season's over. You're in your second year. And then we have this. We celebrate power couples here.
Always.
On Jalen and Jacoby. And the power couple of hip-hop at the moment is Cardi B and Offset. And there is news that they got married way before she even got pregnant. They basically got married on, their third date in a bedroom where the only people were there were the officiant and Cardi B's cousin. They had a shotgun wedding. real quick. What does that tell you about their relationship?
I was not surprised. It's clearly one of those ride or die things that I appreciate because it's so very easy to make things a show. And sometimes that gets away from the actual participants and the goal of just enjoying one another and taking the next step in your relationship. But I always felt like they had a level of loyalty toward one another that made me always think that happened that way anyway.
You had a great theory about this. You had a great theory about this. When I told you this news, what was your first reaction?
The way she was putting it on wax made me think that they were already married.
Yes, like all the shout outs and like people were criticizing her for shouting out too much. And unless there's paperwork involved, you don't really put it on wax like that. That was good. Sometimes you see the floor in ways that I don't. And I rarely give people compliments like that.
Thank you, family.
Great job by you. Let's get to people too.
Washing my nose, oh yeah.
I'm a shower curtain, and I do one thing. Keep water from leaking everywhere. So you see why I feel useless compared to Geico, who does so much more. Like, not only could Geico save you money, but they've been around for over 75 years. And they give you 24/7 access online, over the phone, or on the Geico app. And they've got a 97% customer satisfaction rating. They do all this while I have to listen to this chucklehead. Oh, good, he stopped.
Washing my toes.
Oh, great, an encore.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Now it's time for news that matters. This gentleman was being driven down the highway on top of a vehicle. He's hanging onto the hood pretty casually, might I add. They're going about 60 or 70 miles an hour. Apparently there's a female driving the car. He looks a lot more comfortable than I would look. He's got some slides on that aren't falling off. Jalen Rose, I feel like you're, more qualified to explain to me what is happening in this video.
First and foremost, it's cultural.
What led to this?
Number two, he's clearly wearing an undershirt and slides and shorts. Look how he was comfortable in the crib or on the porch.
That's where they started.
Okay. And before you know it, it's a nice vehicle. And all of a sudden, you know what? He leaves the phone laying down. And all of a sudden, she touched that phone.
She knew the passcode.
She go through the phone, and she sees some stuff in that phone that makes her unhappy.
She said, I'm out of here.
And not only am I out of here, I'm taking the whip.
He's like, no, you're
please,
not.
Baby, please.
You're not going anywhere.
For 70 miles an hour. That's when you're really willing to risk it all.
It started because he didn't live on the highway. It started when they were just going around the side streets and he was comfortable. And he's like, oh, she's not going.
He was in the wrong.
She's not going on the highway, right?
70?
Oh, this just goes to show you.
Baby, please.
Never, ever leave your phone just lying around the house. Don't do it. Next thing you know, you're going 70 miles an hour, hanging onto the hood of a car on the highway. That was some news that really matters, that you only get here on Jalen and Jacoby. Moving on, my homie Robin Lundberg, who works at Sports Illustrated,
shout out.
He got some leaked information from the Los Angeles Lakers. Somehow he obtained a script that was to be read not by Morgan Freeman, but by someone who sounds like Denzel. And the script was going to be part of the pitch to the Lakers for Paul George. Would you like to hear some of this poetry?
Absolutely.
That was supposed to entice
free agent
this supposed to entice Paul George to the Lakers. Here is how the script went. When you were just a kid in your room, dreaming from Palmdale, we were dreaming too. While you dreamt, we built for your arrival. And while we dreamt, you built too. Becoming one of the world's greatest, life's most powerful dream, and the one we realize ourselves, the ones that turn us into legends. That kid from Palmdale always knew it. Now the world will too. Jalen, I thought that was corny. That would never want me to play for the Lakers. That would never want me to make a decision on my life so major. Kid from Palmdale and dreams of that. I thought that was whack, to be honest with you. So you know what I did? I made my own, Jalen.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Los Angeles Lakers, for this. The pitch you should actually show to Paul George to get him to play on your team. Let's watch.
Paul, just ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want to play with your current point guard or a point guard that actually passes the ball? Do you want to live next to a manure-filled field or the Pacific Ocean? Do you want to live in Oklahoma City or a city with a little more flavor? Paul, this is about you and what you want. Do you want the veteran presence in your locker room to be Nick Collison or Irving Magic Johnson? Do you want to play in front of Leo, Denzel, and Jack? Or do you want to play in front of Stefan from Saturday Night Live? What do you want, Paul? Dr. Dre said it best. Women, weed, and weather. That's what you want, Paul. You want to be a Laker. Sign this right now.
Jalen, which one do you think would be more effective in bringing in a professional basketball player to Southern California?
Yours, no doubt about it. Got a lot of intrigue in yours. Showed all of the big-time celebrities going to be at the game, and all of the lifestyle things that come with it. But you know what happens on the court?
What's that?
One of those point guards actually averaged a triple-double the last 2 years. And one of them had a really good rookie season.
And a decent mixtape.
And won MVP last season.
Okay.
And one of those teams can give him a 5-year deal. One of those teams can give him a 4-year deal. The difference in that final year is about $40 million.
But what about the women, weed, and weather?
When you're making that kind of money, you can fly whatever to you.
Okay.
Okay? That's overrated. This is why large market teams, i.e. the Knicks and the Lakers, have struggled so long. It's been a fallacy that people are just going to chase the large market. Look across the landscape of sports. LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. You can name the people that are not only great players, but thrive in markets that aren't so large and desirable. The San Antonio Spurs for this entire time.
Well, Jalen, I would like to see Paul George on the Lakers.
Why?
Because I like change. I like chaos. I like disorder. I like things to be shaken up in the offseason.
Are you?
Do you know what happened, Mr. Rose?
What?
I'm not the only one. A lawyer by the name of Jacob Imrani, shout to him. He purchased over 40 billboards around Los Angeles to entice Paul George to the Lakers. One of those billboards reads like this: can't spell purple and gold without PG. Let me tell you a story about this billboard, Jalen Rose. A gentleman I played basketball with said, one of my boys is putting up billboards. I need someone to tell me what it should say on it. And I took some time. I said, I don't know. I took some time and I thought about it and it came to me. PG, purple and gold. I told him, he told his uncle told Jacob, and now that billboard is there. If Paul George comes to the Lakers, how much money does Magic Johnson owe me?
I would say he owes you 2 season tickets.
I want to say that's an absolutely true story. Shout to Steven, who I play basketball with.
That is crazy.
An absolute true story.
Seriously.
An absolute true story.
So you're
2 season tickets for how many years?
As long as Paul is there.
Okay.
As a player.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that's realistic. But also,
I'm putting those on StubHub.
What's fascinating for me is that as a Die Easy fan,
SeatGeek,
you ended up getting a way to ease your way back into the mix of rooting for the Lakers. Because you just dropped that the other day that, if they get LeBron.
Oh, they get LeBron? Oh, yeah, definitely. Even as someone who grew up in Massachusetts and prayed to a Larry Bird poster every day before games.
First thing he said,
they get LeBron. Now they get Paul and LeBron. And I feel like I had something to do with it.
No, that's
I put
really
together
creative.
a pitch tape, and I came up with some copy for the billboards. I'm basically a front office insider for the Lakers at this point. I need a check. I'm going to have my agent holler at them.
Shout out.
Jalen Rose, I have some very bad news for both of us. For me, the bad news is Lance Stevenson did not have his option picked up by the Pacers. For you, the bad news
for me
is
too.
that your Indiana Pacers will be haunted by this decision for years and years to come. Yep. I cannot believe that they made this decision. Lance Stevenson, they do not want this man on their team, and he's only making just over $4 million a year.
You're going to have their PR guy, David Benner, hitting me about this.
Good. They made a bad decision. Tell him to hit me, because I'll write him a strongly worded email supporting Lance. Look at what Lance can bring to a team. He plays guitar, okay? And he loves the fans. He distributes T-shirts and hits cops in the head and the forehead with it and laughs at it afterwards. And he also is the only man that can defend LeBron James by slapping him in the nether regions. And don't forget this. He will also dunk all over opposing teams. Jalen Rose, now that Lance has been freed from the Indiana Pacers and that fan base that loves him so much where he's so comfortable, it's time for Lance to come home. Buy low on Lance NBA GMs. It is time for the New York Knickerbockers or the Brooklyn Nets to bring Lance home to the Tri-State. Imagine he played in Madison Square Garden, the same arena where he won 1, 2, 3, 4 PSAL championships. Imagine if he played in Brooklyn, his hometown.
You're upset about
at the
this,
Barclays Center, before they had a a statue of Biggie outside the Barclays Center, they would have a statue of Lance. Buy low on Lance. What do you think the future is for Lance? Will he be playing in this country or another one?
I think he'll be playing in this country, in this league, and I like the destinations that you said because both of those teams are searching for identities, and he's an NBA veteran, a versatile player, could be a bit emotional out on the floor, but also really productive. And as you mentioned, buy low. He's shown that he can be a winning, contributing basketball
Someone's going to
player.
be very happy to have Lance Stevenson on their team. I could see him like a Gerald Green role, too, if he doesn't get picked up early. You know, a playoff team brings him in, and next thing you know, he has some big playoff moments, perhaps against a gentleman by the name of LeBron James, who he always has defended very, very well. Moving on. Tom Thibodeau is intense.
Tibbs.
He's an intense, hard-nosed basketball coach. So intense, the New York Times had reported that once upon a time, he broke up with his fiancée. Why? Quote, "There's no room in my life for a woman if I'm going to be a basketball coach."
Coach.
Soft move or boss move, breaking up with your potential life partner to coach basketball.
Soft move.
Soft move, coach.
If she wasn't the one and y'all didn't work out, that's one thing.
It got nothing to do with you being a basketball
saying
coach.
it publicly, and I don't know if that's what you're doing, but it has zero to do with the fact that you're a basketball coach. Like, that's why I always talk about the score of the game and the game in life. He had this one twisted.
Yeah, this is the excuse that he made. He really wasn't. That woman wasn't meant for him. That's just. He really didn't want it. He really didn't want to be with her anymore. He's like, oh, I need to focus on basketball coach.
Right, it's hard coaching.
You can't be a basketball coach and also be in a relationship.
Here he did. Like, hold on, come to practice tomorrow. Look at Wiggins. Hard to get this guy to compete defensively.
Yeah.
You see what I got to deal with? You see what I'm saying?
Now I've got some good news. There are reports, there are rumors that the world is going to be blessed with the art that is known as How High 2. We all remember Meth and Red in How High, one of the greatest movies of all time. Jalen Rose, when How High 2 gets released, should the Academy preemptively give them Best Picture now just to get it over with? Because we all know it's going to win.
Definitely Best Picture.
Definitely Best Picture.
It's one of the 10 movies that I've seen in my life.
Okay, 2 questions for you. Will you be in How High 2? Second question, were you in How High 1? And if you were, would you remember?
I like what you did there. I'm not going to be in either movie, but I'm going to see them both the day they come out.
The day they come out. Can me and you go see How High?
Let's do it. And I guarantee I won't fall asleep watching that one.
Yeah, I think you will. I've never, ever seen you stay awake through an entire movie.
I'll stay awake during that one.
Free agency is upon us. So, of course, we have an unfounded, irresponsible speculation about free agent LeBron James. There's an update. Are you ready, Mr. Rose? Here's the update. This one I find very interesting. You all remember the decision. 2 free agencies ago, he made a decision and made a television show about it. Critics panned it. Didn't really seem like it was handled perfectly. Last time, he had a Sports Illustrated column that he helped write. It was sort of more helpful, more calm. This time, people are reporting that he's going to announce his free agency decision via his digital distribution arm, uninterrupted. No surprise there. We all kind of predicted that would happen. However, there's now speculation and reports in various corners of the internet that not only will he announce his decision through uninterrupted, but that same day, tied to the decision and the announcement, will be the release of a short documentary or a trailer about his involvement in Space Jam 2.
Brilliant.
Jalen Rose, you say brilliant, I say corny. Do you think that his free agency announcement should be tied to a movie trailer?
Of course. More money.
No.
More money.
This is serious business. You're gonna upset some fans, whether you're not going to their place or you are going to their place. You're gonna change the face of the NBA. Let's keep this about basketball. Let's not also sneak in a promo for a movie, LeBron.
When it's a movie to that magnitude, there's no such thing as sneaking in.
Oh, see, I disagree here.
It's going to be in our face, the promos, the advertisements.
Okay, if you do it on a different day, if you wait 2 weeks to start promoting Space Jam 2, you think people aren't going to notice? Do you think you need to do this? Do you think you need to ride that wave of publicity about where you're going to play to big up Space Jam 2? Space Jam 2 is going to be a hit regardless of when you announce it.
LeBron's a free agent, and he's going to announce it on what publication?
Uninterrupted.
That's his, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're starring in a movie. You're for the first time in this series of flicks since Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. Of course you're going to need this headwind of not only am I a free agent, but I'm launching this movie. Like, he's trying to catapult himself.
Let's get really irresponsible with the speculation, Mr. Rose. Where do they make movies?
California.
What's one of the
just so you know,
cities that he might go to?
They make him in Michigan, too.
They make him in Cleveland and Pittsburgh, too.
Okay.
Do you think that this unfounded, irresponsible speculation, this rumor...
I forgot about that part.
Do you think this rumor might be a little hint of a tiny little indication that he could perhaps join the Los Angeles Lakers?
Kyrie got a movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have to be in L.A. to release it.
Do you think LeBron James is going to notice which movie does better in the box office?
Of course.
Do you think he would notice?
No doubt. They're going to be competing for the basketball dollar this offseason.
Do you think Michael Jordan is rooting for the success of Space Jam 2?
Against it.
Oh, he's not. Michael Jordan is not going to see Space Jam 2.
Against
He's
it.
going to start a smear campaign. No, he's going to go see it. He's going to write a review. The first thing that Michael Jordan has ever written and published is going to be a review of Space Jam 2, talking about how bad it is.
See, you guys thought MJ was living his best life when he crossed over Byron Russell and made a jump shot.
No,
I thought he was living his best life when I saw him with that tequila bottle walking down the street.
He's got the tequila. That's what it is. He's going to drink some tequila, watch Space Jam 2, and then tweet about how bad it is because he's competitive. Moving on. According to the Bleacher Report, the Cavs continue to try to put together a package to make a deal for Michael Jordan and the Charlotte Hornets so they can put Kemba Walker in a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform. Jalen Rose, do you think Kemba Walker is an indication or an enticement to keep LeBron James?
All I know is this. A young backcourt of Walker and Sexton immediately is an upgrade.
Some tells me Sexton would be part of the deal that would be going to the Hornets.
Oh, I ain't rolling.
Oh, no.
I need to keep both of them.
What do you think it's going to be? The rights to Richard Jefferson? You think that's what's going to be? Ante Zizic?
Oh, no. I need to have them running together.
Okay.
No, I got to find a way to make that happen.
You're not rolling.
I like Kemba as a 20-plus point scorer.
I love Kemba.
I've always been impressed with his court generalship and his demeanor. Because as somebody initially, I'm pretty sure, was accused of being too small and or shoot first, I like the way he created a level of balance that, no, I can really get buckets. Y'all really need to be giving me the ball. Yeah. And when I saw him win 6 straight games in 6 straight days in the Big East tournament, and then win the NCAA tournament, I kept my eye on him like everybody else did. And again, it always matters where you get picked.
If you're LeBron and this deal gets announced tomorrow, does that change the way you're looking at your future?
If they keep Sexton too.
Yeah. What are you going to package then? Like Clarkson?
I don't even want to wreck my brain. They can, if they want to find a way to get it done. Like, people sleep on one of the things that people trade in the NBA: money. Mm-hmm. Like, if you really want to get a deal done, you can get a deal done.
You keep saying that there's a deal. I'm looking at the
motivated.
Cavs' contracts and the roster, I'm saying there's not a lot enticing there except for Kevin Love.
All right.
And they already said that they want to keep Kevin Love.
So these are all hypotheticals. Don't at me like you did yesterday when I did the Crab and J.R. Smith. I was just matching salaries.
Sure.
But for the entertainment purposes of this program, and we try to go deeper into the box score, let me give you an example.
Oh, okay. Let's get irresponsible.
J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson's deals add up to Nicholas Batum.
Why would the Hornets do that? Dad, did they watch the playoffs?
Because they have less years remaining.
They just want to clear their books. And they're probably not too excited about the Batum contract. But if I'm LeBron, do you think that they're Nicholas Batum away from beating the Warriors in a 7-game series? Is that the thing that's going to swing the power?
Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay, if Batum,
you ask me, what do I got to do to get?
If you put Kemba on the Cavs or Batum on the Cavs, would you pick them in a 7-game series against a healthy Celtics? No, you would not. I know you.
You can't come into my office and tell me to get you a deal done, and then I get you a deal, and then you argue with me about the deal. It improves the team.
Jalen,
I just got you Kemba and Sexton.
Jalen, you don't have an office. You have a cubicle right next to mine. Moving on. The NBA awards were last night. They were a month too late. They were a little predictable, but they featured this moment of Bill Russell saluting, in his way, Charles Barkley on stage. I loved this so much. And then after the salute, he tweeted, "Sorry, everyone, I forgot it was live TV, and I can't help myself whenever I see Charles. It's just pure instinct." Does this solidify his status of GOAT of all GOATs?
No question.
He's the GOAT.
And also, like basketball is why a lot of these individuals, including myself, become celebrities and public figures.
Sure.
And we're going to acknowledge his excellence in college and in the league, 11 championships in 13 years. But the iconic figure that he is away from sports, he's probably one of the most important individuals, along with Muhammad Ali, to play sports and walk the grace of the earth. And then to have him on stage with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to me, growing up, along with Jim Brown, like that was Mount Rushmore.
I just love that he did so many great things for humanity as a whole, but also has the sense of humor to not only flip off Chuck, but to also make a joke about it afterwards. I love him so much. It's Tuesday. What does that mean, Jalen Rose?
A day before Wednesday.
Which means...
Hey, ladies!
We need female voicemails. Ladies, don't forget to call 985-80-JALEN and leave us your female voicemails. Every Wednesday we celebrate the more intelligent, more responsible, harder working gender of our species. So ladies, get on the phone, call 985-80-JALEN and leave us voicemails. And I just want everyone listening to this to know that we can tell if your man made you leave a voicemail and gave you a script to read. Because we get some of those. Reggie can always tell. We can always tell if they're reading or not. We're professionals at this. We appreciate all of our ladies calling. Thank you so much for leaving voicemails. Today, we're taking all callers like this one.
Hey, yo, what up, though? It's Big Mo calling from Toronto, Canada. I had a question about, haircuts in general. I'm not in the media or anything, but I do work, obviously, in an office. How often do you think should I go in for a haircut or outline? I go like once every 2 weeks, but now I'm thinking of changing it to once every week. Like Jalen, I don't shave unless I go to the barber, so it gets a little scruffy sometimes, but just wondering how long, if you're not working or not on TV like you guys, should you wait to get the haircut? Also, soft move or boss move, outlining the inside of the chin, like right underneath your lower lip. Soft move or boss move. I see Jalen, that it doesn't seem like he does it. I used to do it, but recently stopped. Just let me know what y'all think. All right, shout out Reg, of course. Peace.
Shout out to Mo in Toronto, T-Dot. I like how he said, I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Medicinal.
That's the same thought that I had. Real quick, though.
Yep, medicinal.
I think I just realized something. I think not shaving your own face is cultural. I was listening to this, and I have no idea what Mo looks like, but I'm thinking about all my friends and all the people in my life, and the people that look like me know how to use a razor on their face. And
the people that look like me remind them too much of $1.50. And we're not trying to participate.
No. So my answer for Mo is this, I would suggest that you get your haircut every week, especially if you don't shave yourself. Not shaving yourself for 12 to 13 days. He works in an office. You just look a little unkempt, And when you're in a professional environment, you should look professional.
I'll give you some haircut game. Once a week. And depending on what time you get off work, try to line it up where you can get a fresh cut after work. I know you want to go to happy hour, but you'll thank me later when you a little bit later and it's dinner time, but you out and about and you got your fresh cut Friday night.
Yeah, single people, they time that cut so it's good for the weekend. When you're married, it's the other way around. I'd rather look my best during the week. When you're single, you want to look your best for the weekend. I used to have the Friday outfit, the Friday haircut. Like when I really went out, I had it all timed up perfectly, so I was looking my best.
No question. And then it's still crisp on Saturday. Play it out on Sunday. Now, depending on what you do for a living.
And how much you make.
And or how much time you have and how much money you make. I will say this. You got to keep a fresh cut for work. So therefore, if you're getting it cut on Friday, it ain't fresh Wednesday.
Jalen, see, this is the thing where you forget that regular human beings don't get their hair cut every 4 days like you and Nas do.
This is why I'm giving them advice.
Because it just becomes financially irresponsible at that point. So you're getting your hair cut twice. Let's say it costs $30 twice a week. $30 a week, 30 times 50. You're spending $1,500 on your haircut over the course of a year. After taxes, that's about $2,500 before taxes. That's a large percentage of your income just on keeping your head right.
Right, but you're basing it off what you could. It's the opportunity cost.
That's not the correct use of opportunity cost, but I'm glad that you're using the term.
And so, what does that?
I think you're using it right.
What does it allow you to make?
It's an investment, is what you're saying. You're investing.
Correct.
And I agree, especially if you don't shave your own face. You know, because people are judging you on what you look like. It's not the way it should be, but it's the way it is.
And
I judge people on what they look like.
By the way, just because you're at the barber doesn't mean each time you're going to physically get your hair cut 100% of the time.
But what?
I'm about to teach you. Sometimes they can just do your line with the clippers.
Just do a quick lineup, a touch-up.
And then sometimes they can actually hit you with the razor. And or depending on your facial hair and or beard, you could touch up the line really if you get it done Friday and get it crisp if you're on your single. Now, if you're on your corporate, get that cut Monday after work.
So here's what happened.
If you're on your corporate.
I've got a new barber shop, right? You know I am only monogamous to my wife. My barber relationship is very polygamous. I called up to make an appointment, and they're like, oh, we don't do appointments. I was like, what? You expect me to come there, sit there, and listen to y'all talk about where LeBron James is going to play basketball for 30 minutes?
Longer than that.
40 minutes?
It's going to be longer than that.
You expect me to sit there and wait? What I'm doing is I'm going to go 3 or 4 times and be like, listen, I'm never coming back to this barbershop unless y'all start making appointments.
That's an archaic business model, but it's one that certain people need to use if they don't have consistent clients.
It's local. It's small. It's a local small place where there's 2 barbers. And they actually, I came there, they closed at 7. I got there at 7:15 yesterday. And he was like, I'm sorry, after 7, so you have to leave. And I was like, oh, no problem, sir. I'm sorry. Now I know. I just didn't know the policy. I started to walk out the door. And he was like, you know what? Sit down in the chair. Just because I was so nice to him. He was like, you know what? Sit down in the chair.
Right, because if you would have shrugged your shoulders and pouted and
said something.
Don't you know I'm David Jacoby at ESPN?
Cursed under my breath a little bit. But I'm respectful to everybody, man. Be respectful to everybody, and good things will happen to you. Treat other people the way you want to be treated.
So if you're on your single, or just on your about your flavor, it's about you. Friday afternoon when you get off work. Worst case, first thing Saturday,
early when they open, be outside, like no
it's
a
doubt,
sneaker drop.
No question. It's like brush my teeth, stand at the barber shop. Period.
Thank you so much for the call.
Corporate, Monday afternoon, so it can be fresh Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Thank you so much for the call, Mo. Let's listen to another.
What up, though? This is Josh from Michigan. More specific, Highland Park. Now in Grand Rapids. I got 3 cultural or regional questions. And I wanted to call in before I forgot them. Because I got a bad memory. Cultural or regional. Cocoa butter. I don't ever remember seeing a white person, or I should say a person that looks like David, using cocoa butter unless it was given to them by somebody that looks like Jalen and me. Second, cultural regional. Disc golf. I've never seen a person that looked like me on a disc golf course unless they were invited to play disc golf by a person that looked like Jacoby. And my third cultural regional. Trash talk during a basketball game. 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 5-on-5. If they all look like Jacoby, they just hooping. But if they look like me and Jalen, they talking mess during the whole game. Let me know what y'all think. And of course, y'all know I ain't forget, shout out Rez. Keep getting them checks.
Shout to Josh.
Shout out.
Appreciate the love, Josh.
Josh.
You had us laughing and taking notes.
Medicinal.
You forgot to say medicinal.
Medicinal.
Yep.
That's why we love you.
He forgot he was leaving a voicemail in the middle of the voicemail. He forgot what he was doing.
He's like, who am I talking to again?
Like, what is this?
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Cultural regional. My bad. Cocoa butter. He's right on. The only time I've ever used cocoa butter is when a black person gave it to me.
Cocoa butter is definitely cultural. As a matter of fact, I have the little jar at the spot, the white one. Use some this morning.
The one with the brown top.
Hey, I think it worked good for
Let me
spots.
tell you something. My skin's not that thirsty. Like cocoa butter, my skin doesn't drink it up the way my wife's skin drinks it up.
And first and foremost, just growing up, I had bad skin the entire time. So you pop a bump or you have a spot on your face, that cocoa butter all day.
Now, disc golf, both cultural and regional. Both. Definitely both cultural and regional. It doesn't even need explanation. First of all, it took me a little bit to even to figure out what he was talking about.
Medicinal.
Have you ever seen a disc golf course?
No.
Do you even know what a disc golf hole looks like?
No.
It's like a chain link. It's like a chain net that you kind of like a chain net on like an urban basketball hoop.
Oh, okay.
You throw the frisbee into that. I'm gonna say frisbee's probably cultural too. Let's be honest.
Frisbee is cultural.
Did you throw a lot of frisbees growing up?
No. Not a lot. Because here's why.
If I gave you a frisbee, you could throw it though.
I'm going to tell you why. It's the concrete jungle dynamic. Where you going to run and catch it? It's not like you're on the beach.
No. You're not going to dive for a frisbee.
You know what I'm saying? It's the street and it's two little patches of grass on both sides, then it's the sidewalk.
There's certain things in life that are cool if you're good at, but if you're too good at them, it's not cool anymore, and frisbee is one of those. Like, you seen them dudes that are really good at frisbee? It's like, you spent way too much time throwing a frisbee around, man. You probably should have spent all that time learning how to do something else. Or like hacky sack. It's just like, dude, like, you're too good at hacky sack. Like, I'll kick a hacky sack around a little bit, but you're just too good at this.
That's a good one.
And then finally, trash talk. I'm going regional. Or universal.
My answer is universal.
Universal. Like,
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I have lived it. I appreciate acknowledging this. Now, I've seen it go from an urban form like rap music to a suburban, then an universal spectrum. But again, trash talk is for everybody.
You know what my new move is I've developed in the last 2 years? I'll keep the person I'm guarding's field goal attempts and makes in my head. So halfway through the game, I'll be like, you're 0 for 5.
Oh, no question.
It's like, you're 0 for 5 right now. And when they shoot, they go up to shoot, I go 0 for 6. And then they miss it. It really bothers them.
On that.
It really bothers them. I'll be like, 0 for 6.
Yeah.
They're like, 0 for 7.
He with us.
Yeah, I'll just keep stats. It's hard to argue with facts. You know what I mean? I'll just be like, oh, you're 0 for 3.
And for
pass.
For somebody that hasn't tried this in basketball, let me just teach you something. The game is so mental. And it's not just, and by the way, you don't just say it so the guy that you're playing against can hear it. No, that's too easy. You got to make sure his teammates hear you tell him that.
Because I usually cover a good player. I'm not playing in great games. You know what I mean? So I usually cover one of the better players. And when they're not shooting well, the team goes south. That's one of my new moves. I've really gotten in a couple of people's head with this one. Because no one really shoots that well from the field. If you
Everybody field goal percentage is down.
Everyone's field goal percentage it's usually about 33%. People shoot from the field. You know what I mean? So you can get in someone's head if they're 2 for 8. It's like, you're 2 for 8. That's 25%.
And also, remember, like, these dudes are at the park or at the runs. They ain't necessarily homies.
No.
So you take a few shots and you miss.
No.
They like, I ain't giving him the ball no more.
I talk the most trash to the people I love the most, though. Let's be honest. Thank you so much for the call. Let's do another one.
What up, Jalen and Jacoby? It's Joel, coming out of Stillwater, Minnesota. Shout out Reg, for sure, until I get on the show. I got a soft move or boss move for y'all. Me and my girlfriend recently got a goldfish together. And, well, we're looking through names, and, we're trying to search for a name, and she says Reggie. All right. And she's not a listener of the podcast, so I'm like, oh my God, Reggie. But, yeah, I went with it, and I didn't tell her. And I just gotta know, man, is it a soft move or a boss move to name your goldfish after your favorite Reggie, Let me know. Peace.
See, Jalen ain't the only one that got people named after him anymore. We got some Jacobys out there, and now we got Reggie the Goldfish. Here's my concern. Reggie's going to die.
Quick.
Reggie's gonna die. Anyone that's had a goldfish, you got they're 50% chance.
Especially if you get it at the state fair or something like that.
Yeah. It comes in a plastic bag. You're shaking around the plastic bag on the way home.
Water all dirty.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't even know how to change it. I take out half of it and then I pour in the new half. Yeah, I've killed more goldfish than I've lived. Like a goldfish life expectancy around me is like about 2 weeks, and then it's a wrap. Reggie's gonna die. Joel, when Reggie dies, call back to the show.
Shout out.
And because I'm worried about Reggie right now.
I'm more optimistic than Jacobs.
Okay.
I agree that he is, but let's enjoy his life while he's still here.
Let's celebrate Reggie while he's here.
Continue to give us updates.
On Reggie. Yeah, tell me what you put in Reggie's bowl.
Yeah.
I want to give him a nice environment. It can't just be an empty bowl with some rocks on the bottom. Give him something to play with.
question.
Put like a starting lineup in there. And also, send us a picture of the bowl.
Yes.
Hook up Reggie. And you know what? This is a big step for you and your lady. This is a big step for you and your lady.
It is.
You guys have a shared responsibility now. Yeah. I've got 3 human beings with my lady. But you got to start somewhere. Now you guys have a goldfish. Do some Googling. Do some real research on how to keep a goldfish alive. Please. Because I don't want Reggie to pass. Send us lots of updates as a Reggie. Send us pictures of Reggie. We want to celebrate this Reggie while he's alive. And when he passes, we'll have a great repass. I want to thank everybody that called. Joel, Josh, Mo. Ladies, don't forget tomorrow is Woman Crush Wednesday. We need your calls, females. Call 9580 Jalen. We'll be back tomorrow with another dope show to step to. Why, Mr. Hooks?
We're not done. We're not done.
They my little guys. I love them.